to the youths. You're welcome, Dr. Chisom Gbali. It's good to have you on the show Hard Facts.
Thank you, Kalada. Thank you for having me.
All right. Yesterday, there was the flag off of, is it the Youth Resource Center? Let's start from there. What is that resource center supposed to bring to the youths in various states? What are we expecting?
Kalada, that complex or that like an institution, because it's worthy of being called an institution, will be a workshop for the metamorphosis, for the change in the narrative of what Rivers youth have been adjudged. Over time, Rivers youth have been adjudged to be unemployable, and by God's grace, His Excellency Sasimnala Ifubara, GSSRS, Governor of Rivers State, gave us the opportunity, reposed the responsibility of articulating ideas that will change the narrative, the subsisting narrative about negativity. If you open social media, you open Google, you see youth carrying arms. That's how they brandish Rivers youth. But now the preparedness plan or the change in narrative is encapsulated in our preparedness plan for Rivers youth paradigm, from unemployability to resourcefulness. That's the title of our framework of action as approved by His Excellency the Governor of Rivers State. So prominent among that is that Youth Resourcefulness Center. Is an business incubation center that will encompass everything that has to do with skill and skill set of Rivers youth, ranging from creative art to, in fact, is all captioned in 4 cardinal areas. Number 1 is ICT. ICT has to do with the large spectrum of robotics, artificial intelligence, and all of those. You go to the next one, vocational training. This is not like the usual vocational training that we call TTD, train to dump. This is train to engage, TTE. That's what the word is talking about. We're not just training them and sending them away. We're training them and we're absorbing them. We are going to have, is a conglomerate, we're going to have about 9 foreign companies and then apparently have local companies that will be training in different spheres and in different areas of specialization. And then afterwards, we'll have what we call SIM, Skills Incubation Malls. That Skills Incubation Malls is to delineate in specific thematic areas, specific areas of endeavor, like you have civil engineering, you go to that shop, you want to hire people, you want to absorb people, you go there for anything that has to do with. You're talking about energy, you talk about solar energy, you talk about CNG gas, you talk about electricity vehicle, and all of those. That's a shop of its own. After being trained, you talk about waste management. Canada, I can tell you, we've gone far to what the world is talking about. Our household waste that we generate every day, we can begin to sort them, segregate them, and characterize them to different kinds of waste. You know, we have different kinds of waste: glass waste, this waste, the other waste. So some can be used for manure, can be used even to produce interlocking stones and all the deliverables that is associated with it. So this is a one-stop shop. It's not like the kind of vocational training you have. So the third one is entrepreneurship. But Canada, let me create a background. The background is that when you come in, I told them yesterday at the flag of that black hen will lay white eggs in this place. What do I mean? We are going to embark on what we call behavioral modification. That's the first thing, to reorientate, to bring them to the same wavelength that the school will be talking about. So after behavioral modification, we'll now look at the area you have affinity. If you already have area you love, that is skill development, you embody it, it's innate, it's inside of you. But if you don't have, we'll channel you to area we think you can do best. That's skill acquisition. So we'll have two legs of the skill acquisition area. Now, I've talked about entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship will go further to agricultural ecosystem. It's a large, this is of it. Governor even said it today. We remember a while ago, we just finished the governor's 1 year in office, the scorecard. So governor mentioned that agricultural area, and then all the skills are attributed or attached to it. And then, of course, last but not the least, is our new study. Our study proved that some of these our youths, because of they say if you cannot find what to do, you do what you see. So our youth have, a few of them have taken into arms. It's not in doubt. We're not arguing that. Some of them are taken into drugs. Some are taken into what we call cyber crime or Yahoo, as the case may be. Now, those people, some of them cannot do skills acquisition. Some of them cannot do ICT. They cannot do agriculture or what did I mention? Empowerment. Sorry. What's this? So entrepreneurship. So what we engage them is combative sports. Combative sports are those sports that are physical inclined. Physical in the sense that they require energy. Like the Hardy brothers in the US, they were drug addicts, but today they are one of the best in wrestling. You have boxing, you have different kinds of in combative sports. So that's our new icing on the cake.
Can I pause you, Doc? I mean, you've listed some very wonderful policies on paper, but growing up in River State, I am reminded of Craft Center. I mean, this resource center is somewhere at Equerry local government area. Correct me if I'm wrong, but then
yes.
we have Craft Center, the government's Craft Center, located in Falga, D-line to be precise. And for so many years, we've seen, that place not function as it used to earlier when it was created. So what is the guarantee that things will be followed through? The flag has been done, but what's the guarantee Rivers youths will get to feel all those wonderful things you've listed out?
Like this paradigm, there's plan for you to plan the youth. When you mainstream the youth, they are in. It's just like us with ability of finding out, doing the assessment. We went around the 23 local government on our zone of officer and we were able to interact and interface with our youth. And we saw that they're actually willing, just that they've lost hope in successive administration. Canada, I tell you what, the past 8 years did not record anything that has to do with youth training. Now, talking about vocational training or craft center, those are the issues we are talking about. They were not properly crafted. What you had was trained to dump. They would just train them on artisans work, piping or carpentry, plumbing, and then they'll give them starter packs. Those starter packs, Canada, they will be exposed to vulnerability. They will sell it off because they want immediate
relief.
So the shift here now is that we are training them to engage them. We are going to retain them in this facility, Canada. We have dormitories, we have hostels, we have workshops. We have 9 companies, like I did say, international and then local. They will be sourcing for jobs for them, both local and abroad. Canada, in the field of ICT, of course, what we call remote working. You can stay even in your studio and you're working for a company abroad. Canada, in this facility, they are going to be there until we change their entire life, their entire thinking and consciousness. So it's not like the usual vocational training. This is hybrid. This is sophisticated. This is what the glove is talking about. Okay. So we're training them to engage them. We're not releasing them to the market. Rather, where we release them is what I call skill incubation mold. That's thing. So that from there, the people can be absorbing them. People can be hiring them for their various jobs. And even I see all these IOCs we have around. They have also complained that Rivers youth are unemployable. It's not about acquiring education. So many people in schools dish out PhDs now. But most of them, after bagging PhDs, don't even know what to do. They don't have skills. So what we need now is multiple streams of income, which will be facilitated by skills. Remember, a philosopher said that the future belongs to those who learn more skills and apply it in a creative way. That's Rob Green. Okay. So these are the kind of things we want our youth to embody. And we'll be turning out skilled, trained labor force in Rivers State.
All right. Now, I mean, I understand when you say that some Rivers youth are not employable, but some Rivers people in the past few days have argued that there are not even enough industries to absorb those that are employable. When you look at the employment or unemployment rate, Rivers State is ranked top when you talk this Niger Delta. What is the government doing as it relates to creating employment for the young people in Rivers State. There's also the argument, some of them complained in the past few days, that they applied for some government jobs as advertised by the government. For instance, the civil service, employment process that was halted, the Ignatius Ojuru University employment process as well. And some people are asking what is happening with all of these, employment procedures or processes.
Right, Canada, let me just inform you that a while ago, His Excellency the Governor said that we are revisiting the 10,000 jobs earlier suspended.
Okay.
Let me use that word, suspended. That this time he has acquired or entered an MOU with a consultant that will do things properly. Things were haphazardly done and done with favoritism and on sectionalism. If you're from here, you're from there. So they are going to do it properly now. Canada also recall that His Excellency approved the employment of 1,000 health workers. Most of them are Rivers youth and people living here. I can assure you that also 80% of them are the youth. Now, against that backdrop, government cannot employ everybody. If you look at the demography of Rivers youth, we make up 70% of the entire population, and of course, the Rivers population now is about hitting 8 million. So if you do 70% of that, you will be getting about 5-point-something million of youth. So that demography is huge. Government cannot absorb all the youth. What government does is to create enabling environment for foreign direct investment and for more industries to spring up. You can agree with me today that in Rivers State there is a rising tide of peace and still waters of prosperity. The governor talked about, and various speakers talked about blue economy in our economic summit. That blue economy is a spectrum of its own. That's what's happening in places like Lagos, places elsewhere, Norway, Netherlands, and all of those. That blue economy alone, it will absorb the chunks of youth. So what we want to do is to prepare them for the journey ahead. Let them be ready. Canada, I tell you, the words of Napoleon Hill, he said that more gold has been mined from the brains of human beings than beneath the earth. If you train this youth, Canada, a POP person cannot come and seek for employment. Somebody who is a plumber cannot come and seek for wage-paying job like the usual civil service job. Somebody who is into solar energy, somebody who is into CNG conversion, somebody who is into production of interlocking stone, and all of those, they are not ready to be employed and be paid money. You remember the wages today cannot take you to the house. So we are training them to compete with other committee of state and to work even outside Nigeria. Like, remember I also mentioned that we are bringing a conglomerate. Companies that will be sourcing for jobs abroad. So we are going to create a hub, a link, a channel that will be securing employment opportunities in and outside the shores of Rivers State and Nigeria. But again, if you equip them with the right skills, they are not even going to ask for any wage-paying job. They will be independent on their own. That's what we are talking about.
Okay. Now, I'm going to join you and quote the governor. The governor said one of his focus of his administration is agriculture. And when we look at the nation, Nigeria, when we look at the broader economy, one would see that so much wrong is going on as it relates to the economy. But to cushion the Rivers people, some people have argued that the governor should focus more on agriculture so at least the people can see what to eat, right? And the governor said, yes, agriculture, education, health are some of his key focus. My question to you as Commissioner for Youth Development is, how are the youths going to be carried along, as it relates to agriculture in Rivers State?
Well, Canada, even though I'm not standing in for the Commissioner for Agriculture, but I have a little tip of the iceberg. The truth is that agriculture, our youth, and with what you will see, the existing structure or existing way of doing things, they look at subsistence agriculture, just farming with machete and hoe. I'm telling you that what the world is talking about is mechanized agriculture.
True.
If you look at the framework of action of the Ministry of Agriculture, which I have a little, like I said, we have so many sophisticated ways of doing things. You have hybrid crops, hybrid yields, and all of those. And governor also reassured today that he's going to resuscitate and rejuvenate all the agricultural centers, like the fish farm, the Songhai, and all of those. He's committed. He has also entered MOU with foreign partners that will come and resuscitate all these centers. And most of the people that work in those areas are the youth. But the youth are kind of complacent or lackadaisical because they think it's going to the farm with machete and hoe. No, we're taking it to the next level. And remember, we must learn how to grow our own food. At Canada, I can tell you, I'm still farming as I speak with you. I have my own farm.
Interesting.
But people don't know that you can even grow your own. We have a wonderful climate. We have wonderful soil and all of those. So what are we waiting for?
All right, Dr. Gbali, Dr. Gbali, I've got a commercial, so I'll have to pause you. But please do stay on the line. It's about 5 minutes. But when we come back, we'll continue our conversations, please. Thank you.
Right. Yes.
I still have Dr. Chisom Gbali, who is the Commissioner for Youth Development, via the phone. And right now, we are talking youth development in Rivers State. Once again, welcome on the show, Dr. Gbali, and it's good to have you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, so just before the break, we were, talking, and, I asked what the policy of the government is for youths as it relates to agriculture, and you were trying to explain that the move is away from subsistence farming to mechanized farming. I wonder if anything has been put on ground or in place for youths, because the youths are clamoring and they're saying, see, we want something from the government.
Well, I can tell you that this is an accumulation of the relegation of youth to the background. Youth were basically used for political gains, for political thuggery and all of those. I can tell you, Canada, what we are having is we're just on a foundation scale. So it's usually like the local balance that the tortoise been in the pit for 7 years and apparently want to get freedom, and that's when it will start making noise. The youth are aware that the governor of Rivers State means well, and that what we have now is a spiral circle. Spiral circle is where we're going to lay a good foundation for training, for growth, for peace, for progress, for businesses to thrive, ease of doing business, and all of those. That's a spiral circle. What we had was a vicious circle where they send you. We were in discord with a neighboring state. We're in discord with our brothers. We don't talk to anybody. You're used to thuggery and arm and all of those. So this is a new paradigm, but it will not be a walk in the park. It will not be a tea party. It's going to be a process. Now, even as we have flagged off that project yesterday, it's not going to. We're not going to finish it in 1 month. It's going to take a process, because you have action plans and you have deliverables, things to do to achieve those. But what I want to assure you is that we're not going to wait till the completion of the construction phase of that project. We will hit the ground running by starting our training program, because it's all earmarked in our framework of action, and that framework is from 2024 to 2031. So we have to start almost like yesterday. So we're going to start, and the demography is done from community-based, religious-based, and other youth organizations that are registered in our ministry. Right. And I want to use this opportunity to employ Rivers youth. If the organization is not registered, they should come and register. It's not tomorrow they will not say it has political connotation or political undertone. There is nothing like political. We have a platform, we have an app, we have a window. You register online, but basically those who are registered in our ministry, because we do what we call due diligence. We send them to security agencies to profile them. That is the government policy. Right. So we will know who to hold if they commit anything that is inimical to societal laws. So this is just what we want to do, but it's not going to be a walk in the park. So okay. I can assure them, but because they waited over time and government were not talking about it and doing anything, so that's why our youth are yearning. But I can tell you, on our advocacy, we assure them and they believe us, and we are all on the same wavelength now, waiting for the programs to start.
Now you've mentioned registration. What's the age range for youths? I mean, the Rivers State government age range for youths. Can you tell us?
Yeah, we have different policies about the range of youths, but I don't want to go into that. We have UN standard, we have African charter, and we have Nigeria.
I'm asking what the Rivers State is using. I want to know the one Rivers State is using.
We're using 45 years and below.
Okay.
That's what we are using.
All right then.
45 years and below.
Okay. All right then. So let's take contributions, if you do not mind. Let's get Rivers youths to join the conversation. You've just said about 70% of the almost 8 million people living in Rivers State are youths, below the age of 45 or around 45. So we want to take contributions from them. If you are listening and you want to join the conversation, the numbers are the same: 0817 923 0002, 0817 923 0003, 0817 923 0007. There is the WhatsApp number for WhatsApp messages. Remember, we take audio and text messages via WhatsApp: 0809 0306416. Now, this person on WhatsApp says, in creating an enabling environment for businesses to thrive, River State government should urgently address the problem of illegal tax forces. Vincent, what do you have to say about that, Commissioner? Tax force in River State, our youths are very known for that. Is that going to also be part of the paradigm shift that you're pushing for?
Yeah, I can tell you what. You start from the existing, from the known to the unknown.
Okay.
Now, the Ministry of Transportation had a law or whatever policy they put in place about these illegal taxations and transport on the road. Yeah. So that's about that. But for me, what I'm saying is that this youth should be taken out of the street.
Okay.
What will give them the window to come and help themselves, to better themselves? Like I told you that even black hen can lay white eggs. If we give them that window and they refuse to explore the opportunity, then the wrath of the law will take its course. Because the governor and the government of River State does not take anything to chance, as in allowing people to come and cause issues on the road or spoil the good works of the executive, the governor.
Right.
So that's what I can tell you. When we give them that window, they are really ready to take the opportunity.
All right, then I've got Alfred from MOA. Let's take a listen to Alfred. Alfred, welcome on the show. Welcome. Please turn off your radio set. Greetings.
Good evening.
Yeah, greetings to you. Welcome.
Good evening to your guest.
Okay.
I think your guest has done fantastically well.
Okay.
This is what Rivers people want. I commend you so much, so much. You are really a commissioner for the youth. And then, but my question is, please, my honorable commissioner, because sometimes some persons complain that when they go for this registration, that what they hear is the registration must come under a community body or sort like that. Please, is there anything like that the registration of the must come under a community? Thank you. That's
all right. All right, Alfred, your question will be answered shortly. Let's take God's Power's comments. God's Power is calling from Eche. God's Power, welcome. What is on your mind?
Welcome, Kalada Kurubatibo, I think.
Yeah, Kalada Kurubatibo. Thank you, God's Power.
Yes, thank you. The man who spoke, the commissioner, spoke fantastically. I wish those things would be transmitted practically. What I am thinking, whether it will be Nigerian system, Nigerian something, when you put them on drawing board, they don't transform to reality. I want him to assure us how it will be transmitted into reality. And the reality, I mean, so that you can see the outcome. Because if the youth are engaged properly, it will reduce crime and all of that. Evil we are expressing in the society. And that's one. I think I did ask which area do we want governor to concentrate. I don't know whether I had that question from you.
That was previous conversation, but thank you very much, God's Power. I've got to go now. All right, yeah.
I would have mentioned that one.
No. I mean, he's commissioner for youths. He's not commissioner for all the ministries. So many messages here. This one says, "Good afternoon, Kalada. During the campaigns, precisely around September 2022, there was this jingle for Rivers youths to sign up. People did and were never gotten back to as promised. There is no action to back up all of these plans. Big talk since time immemorial. Please ask about the abandoned syringe factory, Didi." Anyways, back to you, Commissioner. The first caller mentioned whether the registration is supposed to be communal based or no, under the umbrella of a community. What do you have to say about that?
Yeah, Kalada, if you recall, I did mention that we want a seamless approach to reaching out the affected demography or population. Now, we are going to do this by not just doing it haphazardly or picking people on the road. If you have an organization, it must not be community-based, but community-based is the basic to the beginning. We have religious youth organizations, we have Royal Rangers, all those. We have even paramilitary youth organizations, they were all there yesterday. Anybody who wants to form a body can form. Then the next thing is to come and register. The intent, the underlying factor of this registration is to do due diligence, to take them for security profiling. That is just the crux of the matter, so that we will know where they are coming from and where they are going to. Of course, somebody wants to sign surety for them. So that's why we're taking this route. So it's not limited to the community basis for the entirety of Rivers youth. Whether you're from here or you're doing business here or you're living here, you are entitled to. So we don't segregate, we don't subjugate. We are all in this together.
All right, there's a complaint here. It says, good afternoon, Kalada. It's over a year since Rivers youths were sacked in Ignatius Oduri University of Education after working for 9 months without pay. Those who got the job through due process were sacked alongside. And the Honorable Commissioner did say here in your studio that the genuine ones will be reinstated, while those who got the job through the back door will be shown the way out. What is your position and that of the government concerning the situation? Best, I wonder if you're asking me or the Commissioner, but I'm going to throw the question to the Commissioner. Commissioner, over to you, please.
Yes, I think I'll address the matter. I did say here that Governor mentioned today that a consultant have been, an MOU has been entered with a consultant to look into these 10,000 jobs. And I think Ignatius Oduri is not far from what we're talking about. They are all embedded in that particular saga. So when they do that, they are going to, it's still reversible that they are going to employ and will bring back those who, are qualified within the range of their scope. So it's something that nobody and no sector will be left out. No part of both Ignatius or whatever. They are all mainstreamed into the plan. So as soon as that will come on stream, all of them will start smiling. Like somebody said that I came here last year. These things are not rocket science. They're not a walk in the park, like I did say. Sorry. They are things that you have to plan. These things have not slept for 3 nights. I'm in that particular site trying to prepare the site. But people will not know what goes under. But because of the rotten and decayed nature of our system, they want it to happen just like yesterday. But they should be patient. They are going to get it better this time. What I only want to say is to thank His Excellency. Because if not that he gave himself to be ridiculed, to be vilified, to be abused, for the emancipation, for the liberation of Rivers youth, we would have continued with the trajectory of only putting mortar and brick. But I tell you what, the money used in building one flyover can build this resourceful center that we're talking about. Just one flyover. And build that resourcefulness center and attract foreign investment or even locals to manage it. But it's about policy, government policy, and the willingness of the government of the day. So if not for certain who is channeling the energy of youth into development, we would have continued in that negative trajectory. So we should be thanking the governor for even thinking in this direction. If you go now to only build flyover and flag off road, they will call them critical projects. But there's no project that is as critical as employing Rivers youth, as equipping Rivers youth, as cleaning up Rivers youth.
Okay.
This is the underlying factor.
Commissioner, I've got a question. Now you mentioned, you were trying to make comparisons of monies used for a road. Sorry, what do you call it again? Mortar and bricks. There is the ICT center close to, is it Pleasure Park now? Is the Air Force area? Is that also being taken into cognizance by the Governor Fubara administration? Is it for the youths as well? I'm just asking. What plans do we have for that?
Kalana, I didn't want to even allow you to finish. I want to thank you for this wonderful question. I'll tell you something, my brother. This government, anything that will give hope, that will restore the dignity of man in River State, that's what the government is geared towards. That ICT said, if you pass there now, you see that we have scaled it up, we have rehabilitated it to contemporary times. Go inside, we've changed all the facilities, the systems, and all of those. We have entered an MOU, we have entered a partnership with NDDC.
Okay.
You know about the project Hope. They have been spearheaded by one ambassador, Blessing Fubara.
Yeah.
We entered, the Ministry of Youth Development entered a partnership with them for the use of that place. That place was constructed before the last administration, and it was almost, in fact, it was moribund. It was abandoned. But now we have brought it back to life. So that's the kind of idea that this government has.
All right. Let's take some more contribution. This one says, please, Kalada, ask him where the Youth Resource Center is. Okay, it's at somewhere. Where in Ikwere local government is it again? Please help me.
Yes, at Greater Port Harcourt,
Greater Port Harcourt.
now New Town, after the airport hotel. You know,
Okay.
the old airport hotel
Yes, I
before the
do.
roundabout by your left.
Yeah.
Is adjacent to that furniture company, Royal something, just opposite it.
This one says, good evening, Mr. Kaladan, to the Honorable Commissioner. I am Chime Wagbegbe from D-Line. Please, for the benefit of those just tuning in, what are Rivers Youths coming to register for, and how and where do they come for the set registration? Please help clarify. Thank you.
Okay, the registration is for you to be mainstream, for you to enter into our database. We, like yesterday when we did the flag off, we invited all registered organizations. We had about 390 of them or more registered. We gave them slots. I think we are located about 14 or 20 persons of each of those bodies, which culminated into 3,000 plus youths that attended that function. So that's for us to have a direction. It's not like it's limited to only those who are registered. You can register online if you want to enter into our whatever. But coming to the Ministry of Youth Development, we have a desk officer that will attend to you and give you all the prerequisites. You go back home and come back. It takes only 15 or 20,000. After that, we are going to profile you. You will be in the comfort of your house, and we'll send your name to the security agencies who will write us back and say these people are worthy of being integrated into our framework. So we have the database, and that's the essence of the registration.
All right. This says, good evening, Mr. Canada and Dr. Gbali. The commissioner talked about agriculture being mechanized. No doubt, if that succeeds, processing industries are essential for the large output. The cassava processing plant in Oigbo, as far as I know, isn't still processing or at least producing any product that I've seen or even heard of. Please, what is the state government doing about that? Text from Oigbo.
Well, Canada, I can tell you, a couple of months ago, I joined His Excellency to visit that facility. He is actually in my place. He's in Napam, just 1 point something kilometer away from my village, from my home. So that place is lacking raw materials. This still takes us back to what we are talking about. That facility needs raw materials to function.
Okay.
It's functioning below the minimal output. So, and you know, cassava has a value chain, a lot of attributes of what they are producing from there. So, but the raw materials are not there because the people have to farm, people have to bring their produce to be bought over by the company, and then the processing will take place. So that's why we need this agricultural whatever to start, just like yesterday. So that's cassava processing. Even governor had to upscale it. He has paid money for it to be upscaled to another level. So, but again, it will not function to its optimal purpose without the raw materials necessary for it to drive.
All right. Let's take a listen to this message.
My brother Canada, good evening to you and good evening to your guest, the Honorable Commissioner for Youth. My name is Comrade Clinton from Bori. Just like he has stated, Rivers State is vastly occupied by young people. Young people are the force in Rivers State. Now, if you have this number of people that are young in your state, that should be a plus to any state government in terms of labor and productivity. So I would want to ask the Honorable Commissioner to know the plans this government, this administration have for the youth in terms of human capital development, in terms of job creation, because I believe we have the workforce in Rivers State, and I also believe that we have the what we call it, the natural resources as well as the human resources. So I think the Honorable Commissioner should be able to tell us what the plans are for the youth.
You want to answer that? Did you hear him clearly?
Yes, but you should be able to save me from the energy of.
No, I don't want. You know why I keep throwing the questions at you, Commissioner? I don't want it to be Kalada said. I'm the
No,
middleman.
but you should be able to tell the person that this is what we have been doing for the past 30 minutes.
Yes,
of
that
this
actually
conversation.
it
But
has
again,
been.
let me say, let me correlate and corroborate the idea of the man that asked. That a philosopher said that the greatest force of any nation is the youth and the beauty of the woman.
Yeah.
We agree. We are in the same in that. Some of the speakers, but specifically to mention the emir of Kano, the subsisting emir Sanusi, and
yeah.
the former CBN deputy governor Professor Kingsley Maolu. They did mention this as recommendation in a prominent recommendation in our economic summit, and those are deliverables. What the government they are talking about. Human capacity development and infrastructure development.
Right.
River State is not doing badly on infrastructure development, but human capacity development is the order of the day, is what we have been discussing. And I've reeled out the things we are doing. And what more can I say? Do I need to use
No, it's fine. We don't even have much time, so I'm just going to read some messages on Facebook. Greetings, KD. Frankly speaking, I do support Governor Fubara, but with body language towards roads infrastructure than human development, such as youth development, is getting me sleepless nights all day. My question now is, do we no longer have hope in government again? Almost 7 years now after school, no job, no empowerment, and what do they want us to do apart from going to the streets? That's from Legit Man in Joko. Okoro Francis says, what is the website for registration? I think we'll end with that. What is the website, please, so that people can go register?
They will do physical. Let them come to the Ministry of Youth.
Ministry of
They will do
Youth.
physical. They will need to. They have some things they need to meet up with. We have some requirements. Before that one of online is when we start the training.
Okay.
But for the registration of the bodies, you come to the ministry and they will tell you the requirements, and you meet up with the requirements, which is very minimal. They are basic things everybody can meet up, so that we do the due diligence right before we can take it off from there.
All right. Thank you very much, Commissioner. Thank you very much for your time. Thank you very much for reeling out the policies of government as it relates to the youths. The resource center will be able to tackle entrepreneurship, skill acquisition, and so many other things. And you also said there's the move from subsistence farming to mechanized farming. You did touch on very much other things, but thank you very much for your time. I do understand you have not slept in 3 days like you said, but you still made it possible to talk with Rivers people, and I appreciate that.
Thank you so much for this opportunity. Thank you, Rivers Youth, and thank you, the entire Rivers State.
All right, do take care. Thank you. For those of you listening, we will continue. There is the commercial break coming up. After the commercial break, the news at 6, and after that, you and I will have open season where we will look at all of our conversations, do a recap, and look at possible front page stories.
Hey folks, ready to take your smartphone experience to the next level?